All right, I've got Santa Claus's favorite treat here, which is milk and a cookie. But we know that Santa loves milk and cookies, but you really want to get to Santa's heart and make sure you get a really good present. Make sure you leave him one of these delicious Swiss Birchermüesli cookies. Now, this is a hearty cookie. You know, Santa's come all the way from the North Pole. He's got a long way in that sled of his. He's hungry. He doesn't want some little dainty cookie. He wants one of these. Birchermüesli cookie. Hearty, filling, great stuff. So much good stuff here. It's just about a health food. All right, let's go in the kitchen and make some of these right now. All right, so here are the ingredients we need to make our Birchermüesli cookies. Now, what we have here is half a cup of butter, and that's a little cold, not super cold, but cold enough that it takes a bit to cream it. Then we have 1 cup of rolled oats. That's not the quick oats, these are regular rolled oats. We have 1 cup of sugar, and it's my favorite cane sugar, the kind of unrefined cane sugar I like to use. We have 1 cup of flour. We have over here 1 apple that's been diced very finely. So, you know, somewhere between 1/8 of an inch and 3/16 of an inch or so. So about 3-4 millimeters. I've got here is 3/4 of a cup of walnut pieces. Over here I've got a half a cup of raisins. And then here we have 1 egg. We have a teaspoon of baking powder. We have a half a teaspoon of vanilla. We have a half teaspoon of cinnamon powder. We have here a half a teaspoon of salt and a 1 tablespoon of lemon zest here, grated lemon rind, which is about the rind of about 1 lemon. So let's get things started. First thing we're gonna do is mix some of the dry ingredients together. So the flour can go into a medium-sized bowl. And to that we're gonna add the baking powder, the cinnamon, the salt, and I'm also going to add the lemon zest because it can just be mixed into there. So we're going to break it up, and if it gets coated a little bit of flour, it'll spread out throughout. We're going to combine this well. So let's take that and mix that around until they're all combined. And I've just been cutting through a little bit, and that kind of makes sure that everything gets distributed equally. Let's put that off to one side for right now. Bring in our big bowl. First thing we're going to do is toss in the butter, and we're going to cream that butter. All right, so this takes a little bit of elbow grease first time, just to get that butter creamed down. There we go. That's looking good already. Cream that in there. All right, and then into the butter we're going to cream the sugar. I like to do this about half at a time. So like about that much there. And then just cream it in. What this does always is this tears holes into the butter. That's why the butter is a little cool. We don't want this butter at room temperature, but if you got a really cold fridge, that's a bit too cold too. It's kind of in between. And what it's doing is I'm pulling the sugar in there. It's tearing little holes into the butter, which is going to give extra air and make our cookies just right. All right, that's mainly worked in, so now what we can do, just gonna scrape that off there. We're gonna add in the egg and the vanilla. So in goes the egg. And pour in that vanilla. Now I'm going to take my electric mixer. I'm going to beat this for about 2-3 minutes just to get it nice and smooth, a little fluffy. Here we go. We're going to get that excess off the beaters there. So let's just dig it out of there. All right, that's got most of it off there. We need to leave a little bit on there for the kitchen helpers to lick, because even at this point, that is quite delicious. I'm just gonna wash my hands. Now, what we want to do is we're mixing the flour. So I'm gonna add that flour and just gonna mix that in. My big wooden spoon. Just enough until it gets combined in. All right, that's coming together. You can smell the lemon rind, it smells really good. Gonna add in the oats, the nuts, the raisins. We'll leave the apples last because I don't want to crush them up too much. They're a little more delicate than these other ingredients, so let's get these mixed in first. Sometimes you have to dig right down to the bottom of the bowl because all of your oats and raisins will drop down in there. So you want to make sure you turn this over and get all mixed in so all gets into the cookie dough. All right, that's looking pretty good. So now I'm going to add in the apple. And just gently mix that in, but still I want to make sure I get it in to all the cookie dough so it's all incorporated. That's looking pretty good. The apples are all mixed in too now. So what we're going to do now is put them on a baking sheet. I've prepared a cookie sheet out here to one side with a piece of kitchen paper on it. Now you can just grease it too, is good, but I always like using the kitchen paper. It's just so much easier to clean up afterwards and to get your cookies off and everything. Now for these, you can usually use just a regular tablespoon. I like to use this ice cream scoop because it just gives you a really nice size of cookie. Kind of go like that. Plop that on there. Grab another one, plop that on there. These are going to be nice sizable cookies. What I take now is I take a fork and just tamp them down a bit. I'm going to tamp them down to a little over a ½ inch. Just make sure everything stays in the cookies. Push it around a little bit. That's, as you see there, it's a bit over ½ inch, 12, 13, maybe 14 millimeters are roundabout. And I'll just nicely shape that cookie. Let's do another one. All right, I'm going to keep making these cookies. That oven is heating up over there at 350 degrees Fahrenheit or 180 degrees Celsius. These cookies are going in for about 10 to 11 minutes. And you're going to see you just notice that the surface is going to get little pop little bubbles in it and stuff. It's going to just start to brown a bit. We don't want to brown it too much, so we don't want to burn them. We just want good, chewy cookies. All right, so I'm going to keep making these, pop them in the oven. And I'll see you back here when the batch comes out. All right, those just came out of the oven. See, it's just starting to brown a little bit around the edges, just slightly. That is absolutely perfect. That's the way we want these. And now that is a cookie. I mean, look at the size of those things. They're a filling, satisfying cookie, great any time of the year. Enjoy these Birchermüesli cookies. Now, if you go to the link appearing on the screen and also clickable in this video's description, you can download and print out this recipe from the Dessert Recipes booklet on Kuma's Kitchen's Patreon page. Just click the featured tag called Recipes. Now, go print out the recipe and enjoy Swiss Birchermüesli cookies and make cooking fun again with Kuma's Kitchen.